those quilt tops from one of my recent Thrift With Me videos? They're still there, and I decided to do some math to figure out if the prices were as high as I thought they were.
Depending on how you feel about math, you may hate me by the end of this video, but I got really curious after Angela's comment and wanted to find out how the price of these quilt tops at the thrift store compared to the price of the cotton fabric that they were made from. I'm making some guesses here. I don't think that these quilt tops, for the most part, were made out of quilt shop quality cotton. The pieces that I looked at closely didn't feel like it, and I am sure I recognize some of them from Joann's. I am sure some of them were vintage. And with the quilters I know, it's a fair guess that they were a mix of quilt shop and not quilt shop quality cotton. So I'm comparing price-wise to the good stuff. If what she used was fabric from Joann's bought a decade or more ago, it's even worse. So quilt shop quality cotton. These days in the quilt shop, you're looking at $11 to $13 a yard. Craft Warehouse, which is a chain that's local to me, sells high quality quilting cotton for $7.99 a yard in their flat folds. It's a limited selection, but you can get some really good stuff there, and quality wise, it is identical to what you would find in your quilt shop. The cotton you buy at Walmart or Joann's or whatever, it's suitable for quilting. It is not as high a quality of cotton, and I don't want to get into the debate over what you can or can't make. You can make a quilt out of your old cotton shirts or your old polyester shirts, and believe me, I've done it. I have no problem with that. I'm fully in support of that, but that is the price of cotton as of right now. So we're going to start with this really cute quilt with cats on it. The quilt was not measured. I am by the size of the blocks, number of the blocks. It's 36 by 48 inches, if it is that. It might be less. I might be wrong, it might be more. So you multiply 36 by 48, you get 1,728. Because there are seam allowances and fabric wasted while you're trimming the blocks for your quilt, or cutting out the blocks for your quilt, I multiply that by 1.25 and I get 2,160. The way I figure it, there are 1,440 inches per square yard. That's assuming that a yard is 36 inches. There are 40 or so usable inches wide per yard. So that's the number I use. There's probably a yard and a half of cotton that went into this quilt that they're selling for $19.99. I can go buy exactly what I want at the quilt shop for, if it's $12 a yard, that would make it $18 for a yard and a half. And please don't get me wrong, I am not discounting the work that our mystery quilter did, because it looks like these were very nice quilt tops. I'm just questioning why, unless I absolutely loved that quilt top, I would pay that much for it at the thrift store. This next quilt was 64 by 88 inches, and doing the same sort of math, I came out with 4.888 yards of fabric in the quilt. So let's say 5 yards. 5 yards at $8 a yard is $40, which the quilt was $39.99. It would be, what, $60 worth of fabric if you're using the quilt shop stuff. Here's another one that was $49.99, and the size was not marked on it. I'm guessing it's comparable to that last quilt we just looked at.
These quilt tops are wonderful. The workmanship is great. The fabric choices are gorgeous. But I'm afraid that with these prices, they won't find enough people who love them enough to spend that kind of money for all or even most of them to find a good home. And the fact that they are still here several weeks after I originally saw them makes me afraid that my original impulse might have been right and that they aren't going to sell. If I had found one that was absolutely sang to me, I might have splurged and bought it, but I have enough of my own unquilted quilt tops at home that I wasn't even tempted. I've got fabric and I can make a quilt top of my own. If they were less expensive, maybe someone would buy them to practice their hand quilting or their long arm quilting, but it would be cheaper just to make a quilt from scratch with brand new fabric. We got to remember we're comparing apples and oranges, and these are from the thrift store. And what absolutely blew my mind is the handful of finished quilts that were mixed in with these were $5. I'd love to know the policies and process that went into pricing these. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. I'm Michelle, and this is my Romantic Tangle, and I'll be back with you with more videos soon.